Howdy folks, I've been playing War Thunder again. Don't worry, I didn't do it on purpose. Yeah, I was logging into War Thunder. I do every couple of days just in order to watch some of the replays that I get sent in. And every now and then I think to myself, well, I'll have a go. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? And you know what, to be fair, it has been fun. This game was a lot of fun, right up to the point where it wasn't. And the point at which it wasn't fun just kind of reminded me of why it is that I rarely play War Thunder anymore these days, even though it can very, very much be fun. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right after I completely stuff up that airfield capture in my Key 43 Hayabusa, I was just going too fast. SU-2 down there has managed to capture the airfield while doing himself a perfect Jingles landing and ripping his undercarriage off, which is what would have happened to me if my wheels had actually touched the ground. I was just going far too fast. Anyway, I'm now kind of low and kind of slow and feeling kind of vulnerable. The Hayabusa has a battle rating of 1.7 and it's the highest ranked aircraft in my lineup. Everything else is 1.3 or lower. There are of course battle rating 3 aircraft on the enemy team, because why wouldn't there be? But then again, while you could argue till the cows come home about whether or not certain aircraft have the correct battle rating, the actual difference between various different aircraft at various different battle ratings in the same battle has never really been that important. And you're going to see that in this replay. The Key 43 here, as I said, battle rating 1.7 and the highest battle rating aircraft that I have in my lineup. And there are Yak 1s and BF-109 E3s in this game. And I really don't have that many problems killing them, because any aircraft can pretty much shoot down any other aircraft. There you go, BF-109 E3. Shot down by a Hayabusa. How humiliating. Oh, what do we have here? An F2A, yep, got him, easy. JU-87, yeah, he's about the same rating as me. Assist on him, easy. Now, we're losing, of course. I mean, why wouldn't we be? The enemy do have 2 airfields to our 1. So I drop my landing gear, and then think, oh, actually, no, let's get some shots on that Lag 3, and then this HE-112. There's a little bit too much congestion in the airspace for me to safely be able to land this thing and recap. Some more shots in on that Lag 3. Circle around again. HE-112, and then my guns run dry. And since I'm sitting around waiting for the guns to reload anyway, don't be a Jingles landing. Don't be a Jingles. It's not a Jingles landing, and I have successfully captured the airfield. Suddenly, the team is ahead. We are now up 2 airstrips to the enemy's 1. Check my landing gear. I'm obviously under fire. Come on, I'm going to kill me a Lag 3. I'm going to kill me a Lag 3. Oh, I'm not going to kill me a Lag 3. We've got an assist. The I-15 who was trying to kill me is overshot. Puts him right in front of my guns. Hit the BB-1. There's a kill. Come on. Come on. Give me the I-16. Damn it. Come on. Running low on ammo. Got him. Who's next? HE-112. Lag 3. Another Lag 3. Another I-16. I-16. I-15. I don't know. Another Key 43. Another BF-109. But it's only the BF-109B. It's not going to be quite as embarrassing if I kill this guy. Oh, I'm under fire. Ooh, looks like, was that a Yak 1? Yeah. I mean, I say there's not that much of a difference. My god, am I going to kill this guy? I think I am. Yes, I got him. There he is. Yeah, Yak 1. Sets me on fire. Don't worry, I can kill this guy before I go down. Can I kill that guy in the P-36? No, he's too far away. As I say, there's not that much of an issue when it comes to shooting down aircraft who are 1 or 1.4 battle ratings higher than you. In War Thunder, in Air Arcade, Realistic, well, it's a bit more of an issue in Realistic, but not so much in Arcade, because I can still shoot down a Yak 1, even though he is 1.3 battle ratings higher than me. He just finds it substantially easier to shoot me down, because my airframe can't take the same kind of beating that his can, but I can still kill him. So, feeling pretty pleased with myself. 6 kills against the majority of aircraft which were substantially a higher battle rating than I was, and that's put me right at the top of the leaderboard on points for both teams. And if you can do that in a battle rating 1.7 aircraft, You can definitely make a difference in a battle rating 1.3 aircraft like the Ki-27, even if you've never flown it before and it has no upgrades whatsoever. Bye bye, Mr. SB2M. I was really having fun playing this little War Thunder Domination arcade battle. I've got myself on the tail of an MC200 Series 3. He's never going to get me off his tail. His only hope is to make me overshoot, but I'm just not fast enough to overshoot either. So his only hope is for somebody else on his team to shoot me down, and somebody is trying. But I'm staying on him. Come on, let's have you. Come on. Come to Uncle Jingles. Oh, he's taking damage. He's gone down. I've got him. 2 kills. And a battle rating 1.3 aircraft. Oh, it's a Yak 1. Oh, that's not good. Here he comes. Oh, there's the HE51 as well. Oh, no, somebody behind me, somebody behind me, somebody behind me. Maneuver, maneuver, maneuver. And as I turn to avoid the guy who was on my tail, a Yak 1 appears out of nowhere and shoots me in half. And I was about to jump into another aircraft when I noticed that in the space of time it had taken me to get 2 kills in the Ki-27, we'd lost all 3 of the airstrips, and everybody else on my team who was still alive were on their 3rd, 4th or 5th aircrafts and hadn't shot a single thing down. So at that point, it was no longer worth the effort. And that's one of the things about War Thunder. You will often find yourself in games where you either cannot win or you cannot lose, to an extent that just does not happen in a game like World of Tanks. I've shown you any number of replays in World of Tanks where somebody's been outnumbered 7-1, last tank left alive on their team, and they've won by killing every other tank on the enemy team. You can do that in tanks. You can't really do that in aircraft. You can do that in tanks because tanks have armour, and tanks can take cover behind the scenery and only expose parts of the tank that is guaranteed to bounce a shot. If you're flying a reserve biplane in a War Thunder arcade match and you're outnumbered 7-1 and everybody's firing 20mm cannons and 13.7mm machine guns at you, good luck bouncing those shots, and you can't exploit the scenery to level the playing field in the same way that you can in a tank. So it's very difficult to get one of those epic turnarounds in a War Thunder arcade air battle in the same way that you can in other games. And yeah, sure, you see all these War Thunder arcade battle replays where somebody's running up an absolute cricket score against the enemy team, but they're always on the winning team when they do it. Now that doesn't mean, of course, that you can't have an epic turnaround in a War Thunder air battle, but it happens very, very rarely in arcade. If you want to see an epic turnaround in War Thunder when you fly an aircraft, you mostly have to be flying in simulator mode, and while I am never, ever going to be good enough to play War Thunder in simulator mode because I just don't have the time to dedicate towards learning how to get good, I absolutely love watching a well-played War Thunder simulator air battle. So, how about them War Thunder tanks? While I'm talking about that, we're just going to load up a replay from, I can't even say his name, WZ lots of 1s and a 4, in his T-34, as he goes on an absolute rampage in this War Thunder Ground Forces arcade battle. I just don't play War Thunder tanks anymore, in any mode. Arcade, realistic, simulator, it doesn't matter. For me personally, and obviously your opinion may differ, but for me personally it's just not worth playing as long as people can turn the scenery off and see you when you think you're in concealment. To me, that is a deal breaker. I know that there are a lot of people out there who don't want to play War Thunder with the scenery turned off, because when you do it looks like you're playing the game on a mobile phone. But they feel pressured to do it because they feel that everybody else is doing it and they don't want to be playing at a disadvantage. And I get that, I completely understand that. And of course there are people out there who are playing the game on computers that have less processing power than a mobile phone, and that's basically who this feature is aimed at. Gaijin want everybody to be able to play their game. I understand why the feature is there in the game, but I'm not going to play it as long as it continues to be there. That's my decision. You don't have to agree with me, and I don't particularly care if you don't agree with me, because this is War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. It's not War Thunder with you. The other thing that I've noticed, increasingly so, about War Thunder Ground Forces battles is, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, by the way, I need to get that right out, at the start, and you're going to see multiple examples of it in this replay as WZ, lots of ones and a 4, just carves up absolutely everything in front of him. This was a spectacular arcade battle. I am sure you will agree. And it's because, well, going back to World of Tanks again, high-tier heavy tank drivers got very, very upset over the last year or so in World of Tanks with what was seen as a power creep, particularly after the tier 10 mediums and tank destroyers were introduced with spectacularly high penetration guns. Heavy tank drivers just felt that their armour had become completely meaningless. And there's a certain amount of truth to this complaint, otherwise wargaming wouldn't be in the process of scaling back the penetration and the view ranges of many of the higher tier vehicles in World of Tanks. War Thunder doesn't really have that problem. Oh, Jingles, you've lost the plot now. What are you talking about? Everybody in War Thunder, in every tank they have, has access to high velocity armour piercing and armour piercing composite rigid and high explosive anti-tank ammunition. Armour is completely meaningless in War Thunder. Well, I mostly agree with you, actually. I mean, except for the very, very lowest tier vehicles, your reserve tanks and some of the tanks with the 1.0, 1.2, 1.3 battle ratings who don't really have access to that kind of ammunition anyway and still have to sometimes get around the sides and rear of enemy tanks in order to penetrate and kill them. But the overwhelming majority of tanks in War Thunder Ground Forces do have access to the kind of ammunition that makes armour completely trivial. And I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with that because everybody can do it. It's a completely level playing field. But then some of you are saying, well, hold on, Jingles, hang on. Actually, Jingles. Actually, Jingles, I had a game the other day where I bounced any number of shots from tanks that were the same tier as me, with the same guns as me. In fact, WZ, lots of ones and a 4 here, is bouncing any number of shots from various different opponents in this very replay that you're showing us. Yes, that is certainly true, but here's the difference. He knows where to shoot. And they don't. And that is what separates a good player from the rest of the crowd in War Thunder Ground Forces. And I think that's fantastic. You see, what you see happen in War Thunder Ground Forces, and what you're seeing happen over and over and over in this replay, is people immediately unlock the highest possible penetration ammunition in their tanks. They load it up, they select it at the start of the battle, they charge right up to an enemy, they fire right into the tank, nothing happens, the tank turns around, shoots them, and they blow up. They immediately spit out their dummies and go raging all over the War Thunder forums about how this tank's overpowered and such is broken and the ammunition doesn't work and so on and so on and so on. No, you just don't know where to shoot him, and he knows where to shoot you. You'll notice almost every single time this guy hits an enemy tank, he either blows it up because he's shot the ammo rack, or he sets it on fire because he's hit the fuel tank. What happens when a shell hits your tank in War Thunder is actually modelled very, very realistically. And it's one of the things that I do like about War Thunder Ground Forces, and one of the reasons why it's such a shame that I just refuse to play it anymore. Everything is modelled hyper-realistically. It's all well and good having ammunition that has double the penetration that you need to get through the armour of whatever target it is you're shooting at, but if you're not shooting them in the right place, you're just wasting your time and your money. I have actually done a video explaining exactly how these ultra-high penetration shells work, and to cut a very, very long story short, what you're actually firing at the tank contains very little in the way of penetrator. That's how it's able to penetrate the armour. But it means that there's very little going through the armour that's actually going to do damage to the interior of the tank, and in a lot of cases it's got such high penetration it's going to go in one end, through the middle of the tank and out the other end, and if it doesn't hit anything important on the way, you're going to do no damage, even though you penetrate it. And that's what's happening over and over and over in this game. WZ, lots of ones and a 4 here, is pretty much one-shotting everything he points this gun at. Well, most of them. And he's able to do this not because he's driving an overpowered tank and they're not, it's not because of Russian bias, it's because he's taken the time to study the locations of the ammo racks and the fuel tanks in the tanks that he's shooting at. And the people shooting at him haven't. he's actually going to get taken out, not by that M4 in front of him. He's going to get his engine set on fire by an M3 Lee. He's then going to extinguish the fire. He's then going to get his engine set on fire again, not by the M4 in front of him, not by the M3 Lee, but in this battle rating 3.3 Soviet tank, he is going to get taken out by a reserve T-26 mod 1939, the guy just over to the right of that M4 Sherman, who, even as a reserve tank, has ammunition that at that range can penetrate 68mm of armour, and he's going to hit him in exactly the right spot, and he's going to bring his rampage, after scoring 20 kills, to a rather abrupt halt. And there it goes. Taken out by a reserve tank, because everybody has access to the kind of ammunition that makes your armour meaningless, providing you know where to shoot. And I do like that about War Thunder Ground Forces. It absolutely, totally, definitely would not work in World of Tanks. World of Tanks has health bars, War Thunder does not. But it works in War Thunder, and it does make for some highly entertaining and amusing gameplay. However, my single overriding concern with War Thunder Ground Forces, the ability to turn off concealment at will, regardless of your computer's ability to display that scenery at acceptable frame rates, remains. And one thing I'm not going to do is play War Thunder Ground Forces with all the detail turned off in order to remain competitive and have the gameplay look like I was playing it on a Palm Pilot, just to go to the replay file after the battle, turn all of the detail settings back up, and then record a game that makes me look like someone with mad pro elite gamer skills, because frankly, that sucks. So that is why I just have not been playing any War Thunder Ground Forces lately. But I do still enjoy watching the replays, so please do feel free to keep sending them in, particularly the War Thunder Air Simulator battles. I really cannot get enough of those. I think that is the single best source of content that War Thunder is generating at the moment. Games like the arcade tank battle that you just saw from WZ, lots of ones and a 4, I mean, that was an exceptional example, but they can get a little samey after a while. One arcade tank battle tends to look a lot like any other arcade tank battle. Somebody driving around, one-shotting a whole bunch of tanks and then getting one-shotted himself before jumping into another tank. There's a limit to the kind of entertainment, in my opinion, a limit to the kind of entertainment value you can get out of watching that sort of thing over and over and over again. And it is another one of the reasons why I don't really play War Thunder Ground Forces very much anymore. But the air simulator battles are fantastic, in my opinion anyway, and that is the kind of War Thunder content that I'm probably going to be concentrating more on in the upcoming months, purely and simply because it's the one thing that War Thunder does that you just cannot get in any way, shape or form anywhere else, or at least in any of the games that I play. So that's my situation at the moment with regards to War Thunder, and hopefully that explains the reason for my absence from War Thunder over the past few months, and the lack of War Thunder content on the channel in general. I do fully understand if this is not enough for you, and I can recommend all kinds of top quality YouTube War Thunder content providers, guys like Fly Daily, Weeby, guys like Squire Flyer. If you feel that you're not going to hang around for the War Thunder content around here anymore, then go with my best wishes, and I hope you find what you're looking for elsewhere. For the rest of you who plan on sticking around anyway, well, take care folks, and I'll catch you next time.